Hello class, it's a good day to you. I hope you're having a wonderful time. You're welcome to class today. It's English class. We are going to be looking at a very important topic today. And this topic is one topic that you really have to concentrate on and make sure that you get. And that topic is parts of speech. Parts of speech. You know, the parts of speech in English language is a topic that cuts across every aspect of the English language. As a result, you have to be very, very consistent with your knowledge in it. Ensure that you know all your parts of speech, as this will prepare you to be able to carefully analyze everything you want to do that has to do with English language. All right, quickly, let us dive straight into today's work. So, of all the parts of speech in English, the one we want to examine today is prepositions. Prepositions. This video is brought to you by iGota Learning Platform. All right, our lesson agenda today is prepositions. We're going to be looking at the meaning of prepositions, and we're going to be looking at the types of prepositions. We have prepositions of time, we have prepositions of place, we have prepositions that also indicate direction. All right, so that is our agenda for today. Okay, now let us look at the lesson objectives. That is, at the end of this lesson, there are certain things you must have known, there are certain knowledge you must have gotten. So get your pen and jot down the objectives. You must be able to define the meaning of a preposition. You must be able to provide various examples of sentences by using prepositions properly. The examples of prepositions that we're going to give, you must be able to use them in a sentence properly. We're going to be looking at the different ways of using a preposition and how to use them properly. So you must be able to provide various examples of sentences using those prepositions. Then you must be able to differentiate the use of prepositions of time, prepositions of place, and prepositions of direction. All right. Okay, so let us continue. Okay, a preposition. A preposition. Now, what is the meaning of preposition? A preposition is a word that shows connection between a noun or pronoun and another word in a sentence. A preposition is a word that shows the connection between a noun or pronoun and another word in a sentence. Remember, a preposition helps us to see the relationship between two nouns or more, between two pronouns or more. For example, if you have an apple and a table, both of them are nouns. Now we want to see the relationship between the apple and the table at a particular time. All right. Okay, so a preposition describes the relationship in terms of sequence, in terms of space, in terms of logic. The relationship between them, the relationship they share at a particular time, in a particular place, and in a particular sense. Okay, now let us look at the sentence, the apple is on the table. The apple is on the table. In this sentence, you will discover that we have two nouns, and the nouns are apple and table. You first of all have to identify the nouns in the sentence. The nouns in this sentence are apple and table. Now we want to see the relationship between apple and table in this sentence. The preposition on indicates the connection between apple and table. So in another sense, if you are asked to go and bring the apple which is on the table, I'm sure you will not look under the table. You will not look beside the table. Rather, you will look on the table to check the apple. Okay, so the preposition on indicates the connection between the apple and the table, telling us that the apple is on the table. Okay, so the word on is the preposition in that sentence. Another sentence here, example, is she took notes during the meeting. She took notes during the meeting. That is to say that it was while the meeting was going on that she took the notes. We have nouns, notes, and meeting. Okay, so what's the relationship between notes and meeting in this sentence? The note was taken while the meeting was going on. Okay, so this is a preposition of time, telling us when the note was taken. Okay, so she took the notes during the meeting. The preposition during indicates the connection between notes and meeting. Okay, so I hope you are getting it now. All right. Now let us look at more examples of prepositions. We have aside, we have as, away, above, about, across, ago, beyond, before, despite, from, for, hence, in, here, inside, on, opposite, out, off, per, toward, through, and with. There are still much more examples, but this has been captured. This is a majority of the prepositions, and it has been captured to give you a good overview of the prepositions that you might likely come across all the time. Okay, so that indicates that almost all two-letter words are prepositions. So never forget that almost all two-letter words are prepositions, except for words like am, is, which are verbs. So almost all two-letter words are prepositions. Okay, so take note of the examples of prepositions. Now we are going to look at some. We are going to be looking at the types of prepositions. The types of prepositions. Now, the first one we have here is prepositions of time. Prepositions of time. Prepositions of time show the relationship of time between the nouns and the other parts of a sentence. That is, a preposition of time tells us the time that the action took place. It tells us the time that that two things relate with each other. It shows us the time that two things relate, two nouns or two pronouns relate with each other. For example, if we say school starts on Monday, school starts on Monday. Okay, school starts on Monday. Monday here is a preposition. Monday here is a preposition. We will arrive at noon. We will arrive at noon, pointing to time. A preposition of time points to time. So, we will arrive at noon. School starts on Monday means that school is starting on no other day but Monday. We will arrive at noon means that we are not going to arrive in the morning, we are not going to arrive in the evening, but exactly at noon, we will arrive. Her birthday is in May. Is in May. That's a preposition of time showing when something will happen. She'll be there by 7 p.m. She'll be there by 7 p.m. That is another preposition of time. Okay, now I want to show you the difference between prepositions of the two prepositions of time that were discussed here. At and by. Prepositions of time, at and by. At shows that action took place exactly at a particular time. It took place at a given time. But by means it took place around a particular time, not exactly at that time. That is the difference between those two prepositions. Students tend to confuse the two prepositions of time, at and by. At shows an exact time. It indicates an exact time. We will arrive at noon means we're not going to arrive at another time of the day or around another time of the day, but exactly at noon. She will be here by 7 p.m. indicates that she will not be here by another time, but exactly 7 p.m. she will be here. Around 7 p.m., not exactly. Around 7 p.m., she will be here. But we will arrive at noon indicates that we will be here at exactly noon. Okay, so those are the differences between the two prepositions of time, at and by. Okay, we're moving to another type of preposition, which is prepositions of place. Prepositions of place. A preposition of place is a preposition that is used to describe the location of something or someone. A preposition of place is a preposition that is used to describe the location of something or someone. Remember, we are talking about a preposition that shows the location, that shows the relationship between two nouns. So, in showing relationship between two nouns, we can show location. We can tell place. So, it tells you the relationship between a noun and a particular place. For example, I am at home. The preposition at indicates the location of the subject. I am at home. So that at is showing us the location of the subject. She is in the garden. So she's not outside the garden. She's not beside the garden, but in the garden. Okay, she is in the garden. She knocked at the door. She knocked at the door. So the preposition at is a preposition of place. Not beside the door, not behind the door, not after the door, but at the door. Okay? So many people in the Nigerian context usually think she knocked on the door is correct, but however, she knocked at the door is most correct. She knocked at the door. All right. Another example is the bill is in my wallet. The bill is in my wallet. The bill is in my wallet. The preposition in. All right. Another example is he left his phone on the table. He left his phone on the table. Okay, that's another example of a preposition. On is another example of the preposition in that sentence is on the table. Okay, so let us look at another type of preposition, and that is prepositions of direction. Prepositions of direction. Prepositions of direction describe how a person or thing moves or is directed with respect to other people and things. It shows how a person moves or is directed with respect to other people and things. That is the relationship between two nouns or pronouns in respect to movement. Okay, so that is to tell you that a preposition of direction is not a static preposition. It indicates a movement. Okay, it indicates a movement, a continuous movement of two nouns or two pronouns. For example, Samira went to the mall. The preposition to shows the movement of the subject from one place to another. To shows a movement from where she left to the mall. The restaurant is across the bank. The restaurant is across the bank. Across is the preposition in that sentence. Across is the preposition. Ignore the is. Across is the preposition in that sentence. She came home from school. She came home from school. From is the preposition in that sentence. She left for the Philippines. She left for the Philippines. For is the preposition in that sentence. He's walking towards me. Towards shows it's not going back, but coming towards me. He's working towards me. He's walking towards me. All right. So I believe with all these types of prepositions, you can be able to distinguish between the uses of a preposition of time, a preposition of place, and a preposition of direction. You know that when we're talking about preposition, when we're talking about time, you will be using prepositions like on, at, in, and by. And then when we're talking about place, you will be using words, prepositions as in, at, and on. And when we're talking about prepositions of direction, you will be looking at prepositions like to, from, for, and towards. Okay, now I believe you have learned. So let's try these examples. Now look at the chair and look at the bed. What can you say about the chair and the bed? You will say the chair is beside the bed. That is a preposition of place. Another example, the lamp is on the table. The lamp is on the table. That's another example. Okay, now the chairs here are beside the restaurant. The chairs are beside the restaurant. Okay, now let us examine some past questions. Let us examine some WAEC past questions. You should always make sure that whatever you learn on this platform, create WAEC past questions. Look for WAEC past questions that relates to the topic treated on this platform and study them in relation to what you have learned on the platform. Okay, now from the good groups of words lettered A to D, choose the word that best completes the sentence. I could not distinguish the original dash the fake. I could not distinguish the original dash the fake. All right, the answer is from. You can see that to was initially picked, but it is wrong. The answer is from. You differentiate one thing from another. You differentiate when you're talking about distinguishing, differentiating, discerning. You use the preposition from. It's a kind of preposition of movement. It's a preposition of movement. So from is indicating the point in time at which a particular process, event, or activity starts. Okay, another example. We were expecting in the evening, but they arrived at dawn. We were expecting them in the evening, but they arrived at dawn. That is exactly at dawn they arrived. So you cannot say they arrived on dawn, they arrived in dawn, they arrived for dawn, but they arrived at dawn. Remember, preposition at is a preposition of time. It indicates that a particular action took place at a particular time. So we were expecting them in the evening, but they arrived at dawn. At is expressing location or arrival in a particular place or position. However, at is a preposition of time indicating the exact time that they arrived. All right, another example. Children often try to live up, their parents' expectations. When you use the phrasal verb to live up, it must be followed by preposition to. So you live up to, you don't live up by, you don't live up in, you do not live up on, you live up to, up to. Okay, that is the correct answer. Another example, I received an award for my outstanding performance in the debate. I received an award for my outstanding performance in the debate. Not I received an award through, I received an award in, I received an award over. No. The answer is I received an award for my outstanding performance in the debate. So the award is like a reward for the speaker's outstanding performance. So when you're giving a reward, you give it for something that was done. So you don't give it through, you don't give it in, you don't give it over, but you give it for. It's a compensation, it's a reward given as a result of an action that was initially performed. And that is why for is the right answer to give. Okay. So the last but not the least example of sentence here is, if you don't get off my property, I will set my dog on you. If you don't get off my property, I will set my dog on you. So the right answer is on, not off you. If you're setting something off another person, then you are not setting it to attack the person. If it is to mean that you mean that the dog should attack the person, then you should use on. If you don't get off my property, I will set off my dog on you. So you can't use onto, you cannot use into, but on. Because you want it to attack, you want the dog to attack the person you're talking to. So you have to use the preposition on. Okay. So please go and look for more examples of WAEC past questions and study it in relation to today's topic. All right. So I believe you have had a very nice time in today's class, and we will be talking about many more important things in the next classes to come. Thank you very much for listening. I'll see you some other time. Bye.